Hola amigos, Sean, brand ambassador with Spanish55 here. In este video, I'm going to talk to you about how to give compliments, cumplidos, en español. Let's just jump right into it. So there's going to be about 7 examples that I'm giving here, and there's going to be kind of like 3 different categories, right? There's going to be like the formal ones, the more casual ones, and then even kind of like the romantic ones, right? And there's a little bit of overlap here, but let's actually just start with like the romantic ones. That's more fun. Okay, so first, what do we want to say to someone if we want to tell them that they are attractive? Okay, this is difficult in any language because you have so many different words you could choose from, right? Like think about it in English. Like we could say like, oh, beautiful, pretty, gorgeous. There's so many different words to choose from. So which do you choose? My recommendation in Spanish is that you say guapo or guapa. Okay, it depends on if it's a male or female. Now, why go with guapo or guapa? Well, it's very neutral. It's accepted in every country. Like almost no Spanish speaker is ever going to get upset if you call them guapo or guapa. Okay, so eres muy guapo. You are very handsome for a man. Eres muy guapa. You are very pretty, beautiful, however you want to translate it for a female. Guapo, guapa. Now remember, we always have to distinguish between the tú and usted forms when we're talking to someone. In this case, for these romantic ones and kind of the casual ones, we'll be using tú. But remember, if it's more formal, it's usted. Next one I've got is te quiero. Te quiero. Te quiero. Te quiero, mi amor.
Yo te quiero a ti.
Okay. Te quiero is a very tough one. It's like a tough one to directly translate because there's levels to it. You know, like there's levels to how much you really like someone or love someone in a relationship. Okay. In this case, I'm not talking about te amo. Okay. We've talked about te amo versus te quiero before in a previous video. By the way, click the link if you missed that one. It's romantic phrases in Spanish. Te quiero can be used to mean like anything from like, I like spending time with you. I like you. Like I almost love you. We're in a situationship. I don't even know yet, right? But it's like when you're dating someone probably, but like it's not the level of like, I love you yet. By the way, te quiero can also be used for just kind of like talking with family and friends sometimes. Like family and friends will say that to each other. It's not just an exclusive romantic thing in my experience, but te quiero. It's a sign of saying that you mean a lot to me. Another thing I'll add in general, just with the romantic thing is like, don't do, cheesy pickup lines. I mean, they don't even really work in your own language that well. And you want to keep it simple. You want to find Spanish phrases that you can use that are easy for you to say, and then also easily understood, widely understood, and don't require like a weird explanation, like a pickup line sometimes would. So keep it simple. The next one is one that you can use to say directly to a person, or you can say about a thing or like a thing that they do, okay? And the phrase here is me encanta. Me encanta, or you could even say me encantas. Like if you want to say directly like, like I really like you, okay? Because when you say me encanta in Spanish, it means like I love something, for example. Like, me encanta el clima aquí en Minnesota in November. It's like, I love the weather here in Minnesota in November, which is like sarcasm because the weather kind of sucks here in November. But anyway, when you say me encanta, it means like I really enjoy something. I really love something. It's usually not talking about a person. However, you could say it directly to another person. I have heard this before. Like I had a girl one time tell me, me encantas. Ay, Sean, me encantas. And I think it was just because she found me like really interesting and funny and whatever, right? So if you want, you could try it that way. You could try the direct me encantas, like como una persona. Me encantas como persona. Like I just love the way you are as a person, right? Or you could try it in more of like a standard way, and you could say something like, me encanta pasar tiempo contigo. I love spending time with you, right? There's other more like, romantic sexual things that we could say, but we'll leave those out of this video. Now, getting into the less romantic, more like everyday ones, one thing you guys need to keep in mind is that Spanish-speaking culture, Latin American culture in particular, is just like a very polite culture. I would say it's maybe a bit different in Spain, but like in Latin America in general, people are just typically very like nice and polite in the way that they speak, okay? So one of the phrases that's really useful to get to know well, and this might seem silly to some Spanish speakers because like it's so simple, but it's very useful, and that phrase is gracias, muy amable, or just muy amable. Gracias, muy amable. It just essentially means like, well, gracias, right? Thank you, okay? So gracias, muy amable. Muy amable. Muy amable. Amable just means like nice, okay? That's nice or kind of you, right? Like, eres muy amable. Eres muy amable. You are very nice. You are very kind. okay? And when people say gracias, muy amable, this is the same way like in English, we would typically say something like, thanks, I appreciate it. It's just a common thing people say, especially in places like Mexico and like a lot of Latin America. Gracias, muy amable. Ugh, I can't even say it. Gracias, muy amable. Gracias, muy amable. You'll hear that 1,000 times a day, okay? It's like, thanks, appreciate it. So this next one is a funny one. It involves like a funny story, okay? So recently, I was in Mexico and I was with some other gringos, and one of them didn't speak any Spanish, but he was learning some little things. Now, it's always cool to learn some of like the local slang and stuff like that, but it's up for debate like how useful that is, right? So what happened with this guy is essentially, he went to Mexico with like no Spanish. And one of the first things they taught him was, ¿Qué onda, compa? ¿Qué onda, compa? ¿Qué onda, compas? Okay, so ¿Qué onda is sort of like their way of saying like, what's up, right? And compa just means like buddy, like, what's up, buddy? ¿Qué onda, compa? This phrase, while in Mexico, it gets a lot of laughs. Like, people see this gringo who doesn't speak any Spanish, obviously saying, ¿Qué onda, compa? It's like someone saying, what's up, buddy? And they don't know any other part of the language. It's funny, like it's cool, it gets a lot of attention. Now, I wouldn't recommend that many of you learn ¿Qué onda, compa? Unless you're specifically going to Mexico. Why? Because it's really, like, it'll be understood in most of Latin America, but it's not like what they say. That's only a phrase that's like colloquial to Mexico, right? What I would recommend that you learn is something like, ¿Qué tal, amigos? ¿Qué tal, amigos? It's basically the same thing. It's like, what's up, friends? Amigos, friends, obviously. And ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal is what's up. And this is common in every Spanish-speaking country. ¿Qué tal? It's it can be viewed as more like formal, but it's really not. It's very casually, like, ¿Qué tal? What's up? Hey, ¿qué tal? Hola, ¿qué tal? Now, this next one is really getting like up there. Like if you really want to compliment someone, this could be used in like a formal or informal setting, but you could say, Tienes un don. Tienes un don. Don. Tienes el don. Tienes el don. Tienes el don. Now the word don, D-O-N, can be used for a couple different meanings, but in this case, we're essentially saying like someone has a gift or they're very gifted, okay? Tienes un don. Un don. Or if you want to do more formal, it'd be, Usted tiene un don. Tienes un don. Someone might tell me like, Sean, tienes un don para hacer videos con mediocre lighting in the background. I don't know. Last one I got on the list is very simple. It's a formal thing, but like you could obviously use it in informal settings as well. And that's just buen trabajo. Buen trabajo. Or you could say like, has hecho un buen trabajo. Estás haciendo un buen trabajo. Okay. Buen trabajo just means good job or good work. Okay. You'll hear sometimes people say like bien hecho, just meaning like well done. But I would just go with buen trabajo. Okay. Trabajo is obviously a word that you're going to need to use very frequently, just meaning work or job. Okay. And buen trabajo can be used in almost any situation. You can literally be telling someone they did a good job at work, or you can be telling your son that he did a good job with his homework, or you can be telling, someone at the restaurant that they did a good job cleaning up the food on their plate, whatever, buen trabajo, buen trabajo. Bueno, chicos, esto es todo por el video de hoy. Espero que te haya gustado. Hope you enjoyed the video. That is all for today. As always, click the link in the description below to try out a consult call with Spanish55. Y hasta pronto.